welcome to LCTV News. I'm Medina Sehi. In this edition of LCTV News, Lynn Commons gets greener, a deacon retires, new location for KIPP Academy, and more. The City of Lynn will reap the rewards from a new conservation program with its collaboration with the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation. This program, which is funded by the Gateway Cities program, will plant free trees on the Lynn Commons, the Highlands, and certain areas in West Lynn. Planting of the trees is a great benefit to the environment. Travis Wojcik tells the Lynn Item that the biggest benefit of the increased canopy coverage is the increase in air quality and the decrease of pollutants, which helps those with asthma breathe better. This collaboration comes weeks after the city announced its plan to seek a $580,000 grant that will help finalize the facelift of the Lynn Commons. Lynn plans to use the Parkland acquisition and renovations for community grant to refurbish the restrooms on the Commons, add 25 decorative lights, and repair the fountain. Deacon John Bresnahan announced that he will be retiring after 37 years. Bresnahan began his work with the Catholic Church in 1980 after his ordination. The last 15 years, Bresnahan has been a deacon at the Holy Family Church. Bresnahan has had many roles in his life and has served the City of Lynn in various aspects. He taught in the Lynn Public Schools for 35 years, served as a campaign coordinator for Attorney General Edward Brooke, and served as Ward 5 counselor. Friends and family honored Bresnahan with a surprise party at the Besom Church. Parkinson's disease slowed Bresnahan down from delivering Sunday sermons, but that did not stop him from taking small roles to help his fellow deacons and the congregation at Holy Family Church. Bresnahan plans on traveling with his wife and spending more time with his family during his retirement. KIPP Academy has purchased the J.B. Blood building and will make it the site of its new high school. The deal was closed on June 14th, and it is the next phase for KIPP Academy's $30 million high school. Demolition of the Blood building has already begun. Construction of the high school is expected to be completed in time for the 2019-2020 school year. Currently, the Academy's high school is located on High Rock Street, alongside the elementary and middle school. After the completion of the new high school, and the elementary school and middle school will still remain at the High Rock Street location. The Academy's high school will feature 30 new classrooms, which include science labs, special education, art, music, and dance rooms. It will also feature a cafeteria to support over 300 students. Frederick Douglass is a crucial figure to Lynn because he began his career as an abolitionist here. He came as a young fugitive slave and left as a free man. The Lynn Museum hosted an event on June 14th called Women in the Time of Frederick Douglass. It included a discussion with noted scholar Elizabeth Duclos Orsello. She discusses how the women in Douglass's life helped to make his success possible. She wanted to help bring out the expertise from the audience because she herself isn't a scholar on Douglass specifically, and she would rather shed the light on Lynners who hold a strong knowledge on Douglass. She highlighted female empowerment by using Douglass's quotation, "I belong to women." She connected this to the goals of today and how this could impact the obstacles we are facing in our society right now. The City of Lynn has created a new trash fact sheet. Some of the facts include that the trash fee is $90 a year and it is billed twice. Owners can avoid fees for each full 6-month billing period that their unit is unoccupied. And persons that are 69 years old or greater are entitled to a yearly abatement of $40. On Wednesday, June 14th, more than 100 Lynn residents packed the Lynn Housing Authority and Neighborhood Development Conference Room for a public hearing on the proposal of building luxury apartments on Monroe Street. Residents did not take long to voice their displeasure on these luxury apartments. LCTV was on the scene to capture this public hearing.
What are you going to do with all the poverty people that are like here, struggling, that are losing their homes, their apartments, their houses? Their property taxes are going up. Our children are living here and no longer can live here.
I disagree that it's white wealthy people.
How many live check to check?
I don't know, and
you don't care.
Nor can I solve that problem.
Fine.
I can't.
You don't care to help, but you don't know what's going on because you don't care to know.
I did a press release to invite
you want
this
assured money, but you don't
We got
care
5 more seconds of your ranting and the meeting's over.
Is steady or not?
4 more seconds. 3 more seconds. 2 more seconds. Meeting's now over. Thank you for.
June is Pride Month, and Lynn has joined the celebration of diversity and inclusion. This past Thursday, Lynn City Hall held a flag raising ceremony for Pride Month, and LCTV was on the scene.
My My name is Coco. I'm co-chair of the Lynn Cultural Council, but I'm also commissioner of the Massachusetts Commission on LGBTQ, and I'm from Lynn. So welcome to the Lynn Pride Raising ceremony, and it's an honor that Mayor McGee is here and approved and be with us for North Shore Pride. So let's give Mayor McGee a round of applause.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here with all of you, and I have a proclamation that I'd like to read from the City of Lynn. Whereas the month of June is designated as LGBTQ Pride Month, and it commemorates the Stonewall Rebellion that occurred during a weekend in June 1969 in New York City, which started the modern lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer civil rights movement. And whereas LGBTQ Pride is defined as the positive stance against discrimination and violence toward lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people to promote their self-affirmation, dignity, and equal rights. And whereas cities around the world during LGBTQ Pride Month celebrate victories that have affirmed freedom and fairness, and whereas individually and collectively, members of the City of Lynn's LGBTQ community contribute greatly to neighborhood revitalization, economic vitality, arts and culture, and the social fabric of our city, state, and country. Now therefore, I, Thomas M. McGee, Mayor of the City of Lynn, hereby proclaim June 2018 to be LGBTQ Pride Month, and urge all citizens of the City of Lynn to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. And I'm honored to sign Mayor Thomas M. McGee. Glad to be here, and have a great day.
So thank you everybody for coming, and first of all I want to reach out to Michael Cole, who put this together for me through emails and texting back and forth, driving each other crazy, trying to get a date, but we got one, and here we are today. And Saturday in Salem is our Gay Pride Parade, so if you're here in Lynn, come to Salem, 12 o'clock. But thank you very much. This really means a lot to me for the fact that Mayor Tom McGee, it's his first year with us as the mayor for City of Lynn, and I think it's a very good start off for him with the community itself. It says a lot. I mean, forget about the adults. The message I'm delivering is for the kids and the seniors. So let's raise the flag.
Lynn Uncovered is a monthly web series from LCTV. Artists, restaurants, organizations, and ordinary people help mold the city, and we aim to tell their stories. In its first episode, LCTV's Kun Neek spent time with Daniel Chapman, a local artist. Daniel has been an artist his entire life and has been influenced by the diversity of the city. Here is this week's episode of Lynn Uncovered.
My name is Daniel Chapman. My friends all call me Dano. I've been doing art in some capacity for basically my entire life. But more recently, like my more recent work has been inspired by just the community and the urban landscape, I guess you could say. Growing up in Lynn has been great. I think it's a good place to be an artist. There's so much to be inspired by here, so many cool and diverse people. And that kind of reflects like the population. Like you got people from all over the world, all kinds of different styles. You learn a lot from other kinds of artists and people you meet around here. I went to school for printmaking at Mass Art, and I just fell in love with it. It's kind of like the perfect medium for me. A problem a lot of printmakers have is how to keep doing print work without all the the equipment and a lot of chemicals involved and stuff like that. So I was looking for a way that I could continue to make prints after school. So I started researching solar printmaking. It's sort of a new way to make prints using sunlight as a developer instead of acid or other things which are used in traditional etching. Actually, when I graduated from Mass Art, I got a grant to go study solar printmaking in South America, which was really cool. So that's where I started to sort of develop that body of work. When people look at my work, I'd like for them to feel maybe sort of like I feel when I'm creating it. You know, the history of the city is very important to me, especially Lynn. A lot of my work is focused on like memory, history, and nostalgia. So I try to document the places I've been, you know, just like a moment in time, and everything's constantly changing, and I think it's important to remember the history and what came before us, and that all shapes the present and in turn the future. For the last 21 years, I've lived down near the beach. So that's my favorite part about Lynn, is just hanging out by the beach. In the summer, I'm kind of a beach bum. I'm just there every day, like hanging out, watching the waves come in, because that's something constant that's never changed. To anyone who hasn't been to Lynn or is thinking about coming to Lynn, I would say come check it out. There's so much going on here, lots of interesting people from all backgrounds and walks of life, and I think there's a lot to learn from people here, just from being surrounded by so many different cultures, different artists, people doing all kinds of cool things that may not get the recognition that they deserve, but it's here. There's lots of cool creative things happening, so come check us out.
On this week's Community Connector, we highlight the BU Youth Pride event at St. Stephen's Church.
Event 3 years ago, my thoughts were, how the heck are we going to do this? But we had a lot of ingenuity, a lot of good spirit, a lot of teens and adults ready and committed to making Lynn a safe place for LGBT youth. So a lot of people feel like left out because a lot of people are isolated. They might not know other LGBT students or adults even. Like, I didn't know any non-binary adults until I went to college. And a lot of people are unfortunately kind of abandoned by their families in that respect, so it's important that they have a community where they feel safe and welcome and like they can have a support network and friends.
There's a lot of like mental health that comes along with it, which is why we brought like a lot of like mental health resources from the community, and also like, you know, therapy dogs, because like there's a lot of like, you know, mental stability that comes with like, you know, coming out and stuff like that.
It's amazing to have this at a church, because a lot of what we hear on the news is churches like being raw, you can't have LGBT rights, you like gay is a sin, being trans is a sin. Well, that's not the case. It's like not even really a thing in the Bible.
I think it's incredibly important, especially in Massachusetts, where conversion therapy is still legal, and so much of that is about like steeped in like Christian theology. But like I am like a gay Christian woman who like is so fully able to like be both of those things.
The fact that it's at a church too, it kind of like, you know, like it kind of like makes a statement that even a church which kind of, you know, has a history of not being all the way inclusive, we're like still creating like that, you know, that home, and we still like, you know, we're giving people that space to like open up. it's very important because a lot of times it's just like there's a lot of like baggage that comes along with like, you know, like staying in the closet and like not fully accepting like your identity because of like what others say about you.
It makes me feel really grateful and really thankful, and we wouldn't be doing a good job if the event wasn't representative of the community, and there are LGBT people in Lynn, and there always will be, and this event's for them and for us. I think these events are really important, especially for the kids, to feel self-confident and to feel like they can fully be themselves, and the community is always better when people can be who they are.
You know, 50 years ago we wouldn't be able to do this, you know, and the progress we've had is amazing. The progress we're going to make is amazing. This is a part of progress. This is the first steps into making Lynn a more inclusive place for everybody. And it's beautiful to see everyone, no matter what their gender, no matter what their sexuality, no matter what their religion or race, to come here together and have a good time and support people.
Hi, this is Mayor Tom McGee, and I'm happy to be here with an update on what's happening in the city of Lynn. We got some great news recently from the federal government. We were awarded Opportunity Zone status, which gives businesses incentives, financial incentives to make investments in the city of Lynn. We were approved for 4 zones. 2 of those zones include the waterfront and the downtown area. It's exciting because it'll allow us to really continue the economic development happening in the downtown area with businesses looking to Lynn as a really exciting opportunity for investment, for job creation, economic development, and real estate investment. So it's an exciting opportunity. Recently on June 6th, we had a Better City from Boston. They are actually a regional transportation think tank that has put a transportation study together that includes Lynn as part of the urban core. They were in Lynn on June 6th at the Lynn Museum and presented that presentation to business leaders, elected officials, and community members. It was exciting to see Lynn, the investment that in transportation and what it would mean for Lynn. It was great to have them in Lynn, and look forward to continuing to work with a Better City to develop regional opportunities for cooperation and collaboration to create investment in transportation in the city of Lynn. There's a number of events going on, and it's an exciting time for the city of Lynn with the 4th of July coming up. We continue to celebrate Frederick Douglass's bicentennial. He was born 200 years ago, spent close to 8 years here in Lynn, and on July 3rd, his speech will be read at High Rock Tower. It's been going on for a number of years. It's at 6 o'clock on July 3rd. It's a great event with hundreds of people, an opportunity to celebrate Frederick Douglass's connection to the community and his leadership in the 19th century in this country, and as a leader from the city of Lynn. You can go and see the reading of his speech and stay around and watch the fireworks, which are happening on later that night at 9 p.m. Also down at Red Rock Park, there'll be a concert on the same night. Starts at 7 o'clock with Lois Lane and the Planets. It's exciting. It's 4th of July. We have our fireworks always on the 3rd of July. So if you want to get down there, enjoy the concert and be there for the fireworks. Again, they start at 9 o'clock. On June 27th at 8 p.m., the ceremonies will begin to light the underpasses as part of the Beyond Walls celebration that continues. The underpasses on Market Street, under Central Square, as well as on Washington Street, will happen on June 27th at 8 p.m. So come on down and enjoy that presentation of the lights. It's going to be really exciting time to see those lights start to be brighten up our downtown and the areas under the underpasses heading into our downtown area. And finally, as part of our ongoing attempt to or our ongoing efforts, I would say, to start to get movies regularly at Lynn City Hall Auditorium, which again is a great venue. On July 28th at 8 o'clock, we'll be showing the Beatles' Yellow Submarine movie. It's the 50-year anniversary. It's an exciting movie, and it should be great fun for the whole family. Please come down and enjoy the show on July 28th
And make sure before you come to the movie, there's plenty of great restaurants downtown. Come and enjoy the great food we have in this exciting downtown area. Hope you and your family have a great 4th of July, great events coming up, and really enjoy the time. And again, it's a great time to be out and about in the city, enjoying the great things happening here in the city of Lynn. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Lynn Lineup, a show that highlights upcoming events happening in the Lynn community. Today, I am joined by Linda Samuels, the CEO, founder of Billionaire Babies, an academic teacher, teaches on entrepreneurship. And we're here today to talk about the Lynn Museum's merging biology and art classes happening on July 17th and 18th, 2018. Thanks for joining me today, Linda.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So why don't you just let everybody know a little bit about yourself, your experience teaching, and you also wrote a book.
Absolutely. So I've been teaching for many years. I taught at Dana Hall, which is a private girls' school in Wellesley, for probably almost 3 decades. There's actually a room named after me there. My legendary animal projects were there. I also wrote this book called Girls Can Succeed in Science. It's for teachers and parents and students about everything they need to know to succeed in science. Sometimes I would get students, especially middle school students, who would come in and say, oh, I can't do science. And it would take me a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then we'd turn that around. So I love helping students to be able to reach their potential and be able to succeed at what they do. So I was at Dana for 28 years, and then I taught at Suffolk University. I did an MBA, and I worked with graduate students actually who were writing business plans and wanted to figure out what they wanted to do with their lives. And I also taught at North Shore Community College here. I had all different kinds of students, graphic design students, chefs, but they all need to understand something about business so they can actually create their own work and make some money doing it. And then it morphed into Billionaire Babies, which is my baby at the moment. I've taken all these years and all these skills and have morphed them into doing my own programs. So I do seminars, I do a lot of tutoring, I have workbooks and CDs, and I have a game which I'm attempting to license to a big company so I can reach a very large audience.
So you're wearing a lot of different hats at the moment.
I do wear a lot of hats, and I love that.
And you're fairly new to Lynn as well now. So you've been living here for about how long?
I've been here about 1.5 years. So it's a particular pleasure to be on the Lynn TV because I am attempting to move into the community. I've joined the Chamber of Commerce. I go to their events. I belong to a BNI group here in Lynn. And so I'm attempting to get really involved in the community.
And one of those things in attempting to get involved in the community is this merging biology and art class that you got going on. So what is the grade range of this class?
Okay, it's a middle school from rising 5th through 8th graders. It's 2 days, and I've traveled to study biology. I'm actually an evolutionary biologist. I've been to all 7 continents. The 7th was Antarctica, which I went to 2 years ago. And I have slides and activities that go along with that, but I've also been to Africa. When you're a biologist, it's so much better to actually go and see everything that you've been studying for all of these years. So the intent of this is to take the students along on this journey so that they can see the different adaptations and see how they do merge with art.
So what exactly would the students be learning, and how are you going to try to get them to understand that biology, art are merged?
Okay, well that's a great question. One of the things is there are a lot of things in the museum that actually are science-based, and unless I point them out to them, a lot of people are not going to realize that. So we're going to go on these trips to Antarctica and Africa. I'm going to take them via slides and videos and those kinds of things. And then we are going into the museum so they can apply some of the things that we've learned. And we're going to have all kinds of materials. I believe that the students should have a lot of freedom of choice about what they want to do. So I'm going to teach them the basics of the science of the animals that you see in Antarctica and Africa. We may have a theme like feet of animals or hooves of these different kinds of animals and apply those to some things about the shoe industry here in Lynn, because that's one of the major exhibits that they have in the museum. So I'm going to definitely pick out things in the museum. They have engines from General Electric. And then they can make a diorama. They may make a video of what they see in the museum. So I'll have all kinds of materials for them to decide on projects that they want to do.
So what sort of interactive stuff do you think they might be able to do? You talked about video, like since you're trying to get them to merge biology and art, are you expecting them to like draw things?
Well, some people may want to draw things, absolutely. Some people may want to look things up online and use those pre-existing things. I know a lot of middle school students like to make their own videos. So they might be a combination of something they've made in combination with something that they see in the museum. And then maybe those are some things we can make an exhibit and leave some things at the museum for other students who come in, or anybody who comes in, to be able to understand how art and biology do merge.
And you were talking about some of the stuff that's at the museum. I mean, if nobody's been there before, the museum does have a lot of interesting stuff there. Like you were saying, like I think it's a model replica. Is it? I believe it's a model replica of a GE jet engine. They have a bunch of shoes. They have that like iconic shoe wheel. Is there anything else about the classes that you'd like to get across to people?
I guess the most important thing is that summer is a great opportunity for young people to be exposed to something they might not have been exposed to during the school year. And I've seen students actually who do something in the summer, and it actually helps them to figure out what they want to do actually as a career. So I want to make it fun. I want to make it educational. I want to make it so that they can use some technologies that they love to do, but also combine some low-tech things to what their projects are going to be.
Okay, and is there an approximate like class size for this?
We are looking at 20 students.
Okay.
It's 2 days. We meet from 9 to 4 those 2 days. So the first day will be more presenting things to them, and the second day is more of them doing things. I believe in active learning, and that's the best way to actually figure things out, is learning by doing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When I went off to college, I took this stuff, and within my first week, I was in the studio doing all the switching and everything, and that really stuck with me. Like, I'm always way more of a doer learner than a textbook learner. So if anybody's interested in these classes, how would they go about registering?
The best way is to reach out to the Lynn Museum, and you can sign up there. We're hoping people will sign up by July 1st, so then we can know how many people are in the classes and we can get the materials that we need. If they have any questions, they can reach me through the museum, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Linda. So again, that is the Merging Biology and Art class happening on July 17th and 18th, 2018. Both days, the classes start at 9, and if you're interested, reach out to the Lynn Museum to register. That's it for this edition of the Lynn Lineup. Thanks for watching.
Early Saturday morning on June 23rd, 3 people were shot at a house party. 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene, while 2 others suffered life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing, and LCTV will continue to provide you information regarding this tragic event. On Monday, July 16th, LCTV will be hosting its 3rd Paramount film series. On July 16th at 7 p.m., LCTV will be airing Harold and Maude. The series is free to the public, and popcorn and beverages will be served. Thank you for watching the LCTV News. I'm your host, Medina Sehi. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. LCTV recently launched its new website. Visit to find out all the great things we're doing here at LCTV. Have a great day.